It's short track season in NASCAR. Last weekend, Richmond. This weekend, Martinsville. We're in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Martinsville Speedway playing host to NASCAR's best. And this weekend, we're celebrating 75 years at this awesome little short track. Tomorrow evening, it's 400 laps. Right now, it's practice and qualifying, and it's all live on FS1. So good to have you with us on this Friday afternoon. Sunshine this morning. The clouds have rolled in, 58 degrees. It's going to get down in the 30s overnight. Woo! Welcome in, everybody, with the man that won here at Martinsville on a day when it snowed in 2018. Clint Boyer, I'm Adam Alexander. What do we expect? A couple hours to get ready for 400 laps tomorrow night.
These guys are going to have their hands full. Always do when you come to Martinsville. Short, only 20-minute practice session. You're going to have to dig down deep into this race car. You don't have long. If that thing's too tight, get that baby in, get a quick adjustment, get back out there. The crew chief needs laps on the racetrack, but that driver, he's looking for that magic setup and that magic feel so he can get this race won.
The key tomorrow night, be good on the long run. Unfortunately, in practice, you don't have enough time to simulate the long run. Here's the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Made a name for himself here winning the Truck Series.
Yeah, his teammate Kurt Busch passing him right there. I think Bubba said, man, I'll follow you. All right. But right now, trying to get the temperatures built up. These cars, we've never had these cars on this racetrack before, so let the pressures come up. Let the grip light. You can see Bubba back there slipping and sliding around, and that's all a part. Oh, he's big time wheel lock up the left front. That's something that I thought that we would see at Martinsville. Actually saw Dale Jr. do it last night. I talked to him about his lap. He's like, man, I thought I was going to miss the race. But I think with these tires, with these cars with the bigger brakes on, you're going to see more of this. See him let out of the gas, locking the left front up.
You know, Chad Canals up here in the booth with you and Mike last week. He'll be here tomorrow as well. He said there's a lot of tribal knowledge that you have to forget when it comes to adjusting to driving this race car. That another component of that?
Well, I mean, hey, all right, Adam, you're sitting on top. Chad's sitting on top of the box. You're 2/10 off. Okay, well, where am I going to find him? I'm going to drive off in the corner harder. I'm going to pick up the gas quicker. Discipline at this track is so difficult to do. Hard to discipline yourself in that car, and those two things do nothing but slow you down. He says you need to go faster. You better not be getting off in the corner harder because you're probably going to lock the tire up. Pick up the gas too quick, you're going to do the same thing. Blow those tires off the rear end, and I'm telling you, within 20 laps, the rest is history. You're going to be in the way.
A.J. Allmendinger on track for practice. He won't qualify. Failed inspection 3 times. Not only does he start at the rear, a pass-through penalty at the start of tomorrow's race. He'll be coming from deep and probably making up at least a couple of laps. Let's go down to pit road and hear from Jamie Little.
Hello, Adam. Yes, well, Ryan Blaney has been a pole capturing machine. He's already sat on the pole 3 times this year. But Ryan, as you go for your 4th pole today, first up is practice. What are the questions you're looking for answers to here in 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just seeing what this car will give you. Whether the bigger brake's going to be like here, what the tire going to be like. Same Martinsville, different cars, so we're trying to learn all those things in a short amount of time. But and it's cold, so kind of seeing how fast your car comes up to temperatures and things like that. So looking forward to getting out there in our Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang. I love this place a lot, but just seeing what the car's limit is. That's something I like.
Definitely a benefit for these guys in Group B. They can watch and learn what this first group is doing up first.
He'll be going for his 4th consecutive pole later on today in this session. Tyler Reddick, quickest in practice.
Sure is. Already put down a flat, 20 flat. That's getting it pretty good around here. William Byron right behind him in the 24 car. Kurt Busch. We saw Bubba Wallace pull over and let his teammate Kurt Busch pull up there. And I was going to follow, but man, I'm telling you, that 8 car, you can see already things digging up off the corner.
To shift or to not to shift? We're getting answers on where that fits in this weekend.
Shifting every lap is ridiculous. Shifting, just try some laps without it.
I heard him, and I heard him up before, shifting, pulling them gears. Obviously, you hear Kurt Busch not liking that, but man, I'm telling you, it's a workload that's going to be, a lot more than what they've used to. I mean, if you're shifting that thing, you're going to be doing that right in the middle of the corner while you're racing, while you're trying to turn under somebody, trying to keep that car behind you. You're pretty busy in that race car at a track like Martinsville. Now you add an element of shifting every lap.
On board with Kevin Harvick, he too is shifting. Who does this favor?
I don't know that it favors anybody. I mean, the point is, with this new car, the new transaxle, the 5th gear option, you knew that those gears are going to be closer together than they were before. And that's exactly what we're seeing. This was something that was all of our radars on a Tuesday morning meeting that we have for trying to preview this weekend. And here it is. First laps on the racetrack, and they're already shifting.
I just go back to the clash and think about how good Tyler Reddick was, Chase Briscoe, who was shifting a lot, and I wonder if you don't change the favorites line based on how you execute on track.
I don't know, and I'm not sold that this is going to be the way. Mind you, this is only a 20-minute practice session, and you said it at the top of the show. It's all about a long run. How do you work on a long run with only 20 minutes of practice? Well, they're going to do that, and if I'm trying to win a 20-minute practice session, you bet that's going to be the fastest way around in shifting. But if you're trying to get this thing to a 100-lap run or something like that, you need those tires and that rear grip up off. And if you're shifting every time, I think you're going to be out of tire and wishing you weren't.
Corey LaJoie working on the long haul, 16 laps in this session for him. And right on cue, when we're celebrating a long run, he says, I'm going to come down pit road. Quickest of the session, Bubba Wallace, and the boss man won last week, Denny Hamlin. So good at this racetrack, 14th early in the session. So much talk this year about the young drivers, 20-somethings winning the first 6 races. Hamlin goes out last weekend and screws it up at 41 years old. He gets his 47th career victory, and coming to a track, as I said, where over the years he's been really, really good. Almost halfway home at our first practice of the day. Wallace, Larson, Bell, Reddick, Byron, the top 5. 10 minutes to go. Group A practice. Cup Series cars on track in Martinsville. Bubba Wallace continues to lead the way. Kyle Larson has now jumped to second in the session. So let's go back to shifting, and the guy will focus on Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, we saw early when we were riding with him, you saw him grab a gear. And the biggest part that I was wanting to see, watch as he gets off into turn 1 right here when he downshifts. See, he downshifts. You hear that car, when it does that, that thing will want to come out from underneath of you. And imagine if you've got a guy on your outside, you're having to downshift and then shift. When you're pulling back into 5th gear in a straightaway, that's easy peasy. But I'm telling you, the magic is downshifting, getting into the corner. That's an aid. That'll help you slow down the car. But if you do that too quick, it could spin this thing out in a heartbeat.
Could I hear one more time the noise into the corner?
Yes, listen to it. You don't have to hear me. Watch this. Now, all right, now see here. And that was another thing that I wanted to hear. And I guarantee you, from driver to driver, it's a difference in where they downshift. He was doing it earlier, getting in the corner. Now he's kind of changed his driving style, where he was doing it more in the middle of the corner once the car got settled in.
And Harvick's coming to pit road. Let's go there now, Jamie.
And Martin Truex Jr. has been the man to beat at Martinsville over the last 5 years. He's won 3 times. You're watching closely. Anything stand out to you so far?
It's all the shifting. It's like everybody was shifting like lap 2, so that's definitely new. Something we'll have to figure out.
Good luck. He's going to be in Group B as he watches SMT data. It's interesting. I think it's caught these guys a little by surprise, Adam.
And maybe, Jamie, really a good day to be in that second group, because you get a little bit of a cheat off the guys that are out there right now.
Oh, that's a great point. And we see that time and time again. There's another left front brake lock up for Eric Jones in the 43 car, shooting up the racetrack. The only thing, once that thing locks up, that's the hardest thing about a wheel lockup. Kind of like when you would get wheel hop with the rear. If you lock that brake up, the only thing you can do to get that off is a lot off of it. Well, by the way, I need to slow down, Adam. I can't. That option is not a good option for me. Corner's coming at a rapid pace.
Hey, we're talking shifting, and I've heard for many years that this place was somewhat like a road course in your approach, especially with all the braking in the corners. Is there carryover? Does that add up when you're talking about guys to look at for the win tomorrow night?
Yeah, and, we're riding along with Eric Almirola, but I really look for his teammate, Chase Briscoe. I take it back to Phoenix, his win at Phoenix. I honestly think, and even before that, when he was at the Coliseum, he was the only car that was shifting. Take that to Phoenix, and he was the only car shifting and got the job done there, I think, because of his experience and practice with it. So I look for a guy like Chase Briscoe to shine.
Let's bring in crew chief Larry McReynolds. Almirola 7th right now.
Yeah, I've been watching this long run, and right now he's run a total of 35 laps, which if the car's close, Clint mentioned this earlier, this is what I would love to do. And one thing I just wanted to mention, we always talk week in and week out about short run and long run. And of course that varies from track to track. To me, a long run at Martinsville is somewhere up around 40 laps. And it's interesting because I talked to Denny Hamlin on Wednesday, and he got beat here a year ago because they had short run speed in their car. They just put more grip in it. They were more aggressive with the shocks. He said because we thought we were going to get a late race caution. They didn't, and they got beat. He said when we came back in the fall race, we came more of a hybrid. A little short run speed, a little long run speed, kind of mixed together in it.
As a driver, how much do you weigh in philosophically on I want to be short run, I want to be long run, I want to be the hybrid like Larry talked about?
Well, typically when you come to here, you want that long run because, Larry's going to tell me these long runs are the name of the game. That being said, 400 laps around here instead of 500, that's a big deal. You knock off 100 laps out of the race, these runs are a little bit shorter, maybe not quite as good a long run car, but I still think, going back to this shifting conversation, you get out there and you get your car freed up and you're able to roll the corner with speed and not make that shift up off the corner, saving a little bit of tire. I think that's the name of the game on a long run. I really do. But I'm telling you, you get a car behind you or you're racing side by side with somebody and you don't reach down and pull that gear, you're going to wish you did because they're going to smoke you.
5 minutes to go in this practice. Denny Hamlin 12th.
Shifting just made it worse for me, just made it plow worse on throttle. Initial throttles were I'm really bogged down.
Again, that somewhat makes sense to me. That tells me, if you're tight on that second half of the corner on the throttle, when that thing's gripping and ripping in fourth gear, you're going to be coming off there, and it's a way more affirmative than, it's in the power band. It's right in the torque range. If you get on the gas, it's there. You're in fifth gear and your drive gear, and that thing's kind of got, it has to carry that RPM all the way down the straightaway. So, yeah, if that thing's tight there and you climb on the gas, it about picks the front tires off the ground.
William Byron, big win last night, Camping World Truck Series race right here at Martinsville. You saw it on FS1, and he didn't just win. He really did so in dominating fashion. This place has always been about rhythm. The laps last night, the practice today, that's got to give him a little bit of an advantage as we go to tomorrow evening, right?
For sure. I definitely think it does.
And overall, this guy's been fast every race this year. Won at Atlanta, could have easily won last week. He's checking a lot of boxes right now.
100%. It's kind of been a battle of who's the best at Hendrick Motorsports right now, and he is the top of that conversation. And even more so than the old champ, last year's champ in that 5-car. But you look at here, best 10-lap consecutive average, the 5-car of Larson. William Byron, that 24-car right behind him. Let's flip that conversation of 5 more laps. Best consecutive 15 laps. Now all of a sudden Byron's your guy, and Larson's behind him.
Larry talked about Almirola, and he and Larson are the only 2 drivers to make a 30-lap run. And this is the 21 car owned by the Wood brothers, driven by Harrison Burton, a Virginia-based team that's got so much history, and it's special to see that car on this track.
Oh, and what an opportunity for Harrison and his family. What an iconic car to be able to drive. A lot of pride goes into being behind the wheel of that 21 car and the history that it has behind it. He's had a little bit of a rocky introduction to the Cup Series. Hey, it's the big leagues, and I think he's ready for it. I really do. I think he's poised for it. But it goes way further than just getting the job done behind the wheel, it's the chemistry with your crew chief, chemistry with, obviously within the Penske organization. It's kind of a satellite team, working with your teammates and things like that. I mean, all that stuff, that's the stuff that really takes time. Look at the difference in Chase Briscoe. A year ago, we're really seldom talking about him. 25th to 30th land. Now all of a sudden gets another year under his belt, gets some confidence, goes out, and he's already been a winner.
Bubba Wallace, top 3 in 10, 15, and 20 lap averages. He's fastest overall. He's showing me something in this practice session.
This has always been a good track for him. You said, that his truck win came here. It really is a good track, and I think, again, we're talking about satellite teams. It's a Toyota. We know that there's a connection.
Look at the guys that drive for them. Kurt Busch, a couple of wins here. Denny Hamlin, 5. Truex, 3 of the last 5. Kyle Busch, no stranger to success here. So it stands to reason Bubba leans on his teammates a little bit. And based on the numbers, maybe they'll be leaning on him, because some of these guys not putting up the lap times and the overall speed in this session I thought they might be.
One thing there's always, you can count on when you come to Martinsville is how close these times are. I mean, Bubba Wallace is the heat at a 20:03. And then listen to this, 2nd through 4th, there's an 05 with a 5, an 05 with a 5, and an 05 with an 8. And then 5th is an 08. That's the top 5 all in a flat. Extremely tight lap times.
Later on when we do qualifying, you'll take the top 5 from this group and they'll move on to the 2nd round and run for the pole. And you talk about the separation right now in the top 5. Qualifying will be really fun coming up later on FS1. And the next item on the to-do list is just about get ready for qualifying, because we're inside of a minute to go for all these guys in Group A practice.
Well, Christopher Bell right there. He's one of those 05s of the 5. I think he likes his race car. Doesn't surprise me. Was fast last weekend. We knew these Gibbs cars, if they had to show up, if they didn't prove to us they could get the job done on these short tracks, which has been their bread and butter, they were in trouble. They answered that call with a win last weekend and showing up with speed again this weekend. Look at the flames coming out of both sides of that car. That is so cool.
And it's going to be even better under the lights Saturday night tomorrow when we're short track racing at Martinsville Speedway. The opening session is over. Bubba Wallace, P1 in Group A. I am just enjoying this. We were watching the entire commercial break. Bubba Wallace breakdown practice. I mean, he's ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't tell if they were in an argument or he's happy with his car. That's my favorite part is, everything's so loud down there in pit road trying to have that communication. And oh, by the way, it's now. We got to make these decisions quick, so you better give me some detailed information as fast as you possibly can, because I got to get this thing switched over to qualifying trim. And oh, by the way, it's impounded after that. So make sure you tell me the right stuff that you need for this race tomorrow night.
Group A, getting ready for qualifying. Group B is on track for 20 minutes of practice. And all the names in yellow in your pylon are those that were just out there. So as you see these guys from Group B get up to speed, they will populate in the pylon in white so we can compare and contrast. Michael McDowell won last year's Daytona 500, driving the 34 for Front Row Motorsports. Fast lap for Bubba, and you talked about this, 20:04, and the 15 lap average of 20:15 for William Byron. So keep those numbers in mind as we watch these guys in Group B go out and put down their laps. And I don't know if he's calmed down, but a couple of minutes ago, Bubba Wallace flat fired up, Jamie.
Yes, he's calmed down a little bit. He's drinking a little bit of water. We were watching you, and there was a lot of explaining with your hands. What were you telling your guys what your car was doing right and maybe what you needed better?
Yeah, this new next-gen car has totally revamped Martinsville. Barely using any brake pressure, downshifting in the corners, upshifting on the straightaways, so just a lot going on, which is good. You're going to have to get up on the wheel, Dave had shot me a text rolling into the track saying, you know, with this car, he expects that we're going to be muscling it a little bit more. So the guys did a really good job on our DoorDash Toyota Camry. We just got to keep it going. We've had speed all year long. We just had mistakes that take us out. So practice is great, doesn't pay anything, but we gotta execute all weekend.
Good short run speed. He'll go for the pole coming up here in just a bit.
I like the confidence in his voice right there, and I think, you know, the proof's in the pudding. Why wouldn't he be confident? Both him and his teammate were pretty fast in practice. You can tell he likes his car. And I like what he said about the brakes too, what this car brought to it. Remember, he was the first one that we showed a big wheel lock up in that left front. He was out there feeling that thing out, realized don't need that much pressure anymore.
Here's another guy that should be confident here, and in particular on pole day, Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, going for 4 in a row, right?
Last guy to do it, Ryan Newman, driving the 12th car for Roger Penske. How about that?
Then like 98.
I would have said like
2003 or
2003, 2002, something like that.
I was just coming on the scene, boys. I remember that. The Rocket Man.
04.
Fastest man alive. Hardest man to pass ever.
We've gone from the Rocket Man to Blazing Blaney on
You know, it's
Friday.
funny. His dad, his nickname was always the Bullet. So the Rocket Man to the I call him Baby Bullet. He gets it because his old man was always my teammate. We called him. I just called him Bullet.
Quickest Group B, Kyle Busch. Top 5 overall for the 18.
Again, this kind of takes us right back in that conversation with the Toyota camp and these short tracks. Could they show up here and repeat the speed, the success they had last weekend? And look, top of the board already.
Hey guys, on the Toyota camp, I talked to David Wilson, the president of Toyota Racing Development, on Wednesday, and I said, David, how does that make you feel how you guys ran? He said, don't get me wrong, we're proud to go to victory lane, but he said, Larry, a dot on a piece of paper is not a line, and one race is not a trend. They know they still have work to do.
Pretty big dot, though, especially for that 11 car, man. That guy needed, I mean, honestly, I think within a few races of having to win his way in to even have a conversation for the playoffs and race for a championship, completely wiped that off the conversation. Won his race, no more worry about points.
He said he hadn't even been looking at the points. He was so concerned about it.
I don't know if I buy that.
Tell me about air pressure early in the practice session, Clint.
Well, you can see just how low they are. Look at that left rear air. You need that left rear air because that's the one on the exit of these corners, especially when we start talking about shifting and things like that. That thing takes a beating. When that car rocks up, you want to give a really straight run. Let it roll around the corner, because when you get on the gas, that left rear is what I always focused on really, really strongly. And you know, in my conversations with my crew chief, it was always about making sure that left rear was on the ground and digging.
Now
you can see it right there.
We'll continue to watch him over the long haul in this practice, but right now Kyle Busch, fastest overall by 100th of a second. He's jumped in front of Bubba Wallace, and that'll be something we keep an eye on if he can maintain that over the course of 15 or 20 laps as we check in on Joey Logano.
I'll tell you another thing that I saw, that left rear air pressure with these guys shifting. You're going to have to take care of that thing, I would think, on low air pressure. You can spin it right off the rim if you're not careful.
This guy knows how to shift, yeah.
And honestly, had my mind on Austin Cindric with his road course background, this being a short track, as strong as he is on all the road courses. I was thinking this cat right here might have something for him tomorrow night.
One top 10 since winning the Daytona 500 to open 2022, and it came on the road course a couple of weeks ago in Austin.
See how smooth that shift is? Just almost effortless. Pull it back, watch this. Get off into the corner, get a car settled, boom, there it is. Downshift.
Cindric 9th overall. Jamie?
Kyle Larson in the 5-team fastest 10-lap average. Looks like you guys have yourself a pretty good long-run car, but overall, what was your impression of getting in this new car here at Martinsville?
Yeah, it's fun. The downshifting and stuff's pretty cool. I feel like it might help me a little bit, but we'll see. my HinderCars.com Chevy felt pretty good there. It's hard to really know. It's a quick practice session, so would have liked to run even longer to get more into a rhythm, but overall feel pretty happy. I've been trying to put a lot of work in to get better at this place, and we'll see if it pays off.
Thanks, Kyle.
All 4 Hendrick cars in the top 7. They've won here 26 times, and they now have the fastest man in Martinsville in the form of Chase Elliott.
Yeah, into the 19-second bracket. Well, I thought it was.
Yeah, well, it rounded up.
Man, I'm going to give it. It's a 9.9 with a 5. We're talking like pro stock. We're at the pro stock ranks. It's like drag racing times are so close. I like this right here. I was watching him and his teammate of Alex Bowman in front of him, and I see, well, excuse me, he pulled off right there, but he was diming the corner a little bit and making sure that he had that straight drive. And there was several
Explain that philosophy.
Lets the car roll up in the middle of the track, diamonds the corner, and then gets that straight drive up off. Something you work on a long run. Try to keep those tires, the rear tires, underneath of you. And you can see back there, he's just struggling in that very category. I saw him spin the tires again. See, rolls up in the middle of the corner. But I see that car definitely needing some drive onto the throttle.
On board with Blaney. He's working hard in practice.
You see how quick he had his hands back on the wheel from a downshift. And that was what I was trying to explain when we saw Kevin Harvick. When he downshifted, man, he is, Ryan, that's as close as you're going to get. I think you just peeled a decal off the side of your race car. You were so close. But that downshift, I'm telling you, you get to racing underneath somebody and get the wheels starting to lock up and needing to try to slow down and reach over and downshift at the wrong time, this thing's going to swap ends on you in a hurry.
Just over 10 minutes remaining. Group B practice at Martinsville. Elliott, Kyle Busch at the top. Fox NASCAR is live in Martinsville, Virginia with Clint Boyer. I'm Adam Alexander. Jamie Little hanging out on pit road. It's Cup Series practice. And there is the driver that won 2 weeks ago. Ross Chastain got it done at Circuit of the Americas. Here's what they're saying.
Yeah, aggravating the balance, not overstopping. I'm pretty light on the pedal, playing with the knob, and I plow the center. If I get less than 4 rounds to the rear, and I'm tight on the brake, like left front feels like it's locking, sliding. At 5, it's okay on the initial brake, but I'm pretty loose as well.
Sounds like a lot of problems. But trying to figure out that brake conversation, we heard Bubba Wallace tell us that was one of the first things that he was struggling with and made adjustment within himself, right? His driving style had to not use as much pressure as he was. But I'm telling you, that's going to be so tricky. And I also think that downshifting part of the equation and where you do that, the timing in which you downshift has such a big... Wow. See, that's exactly what I was talking about. Downshifted right there, and it upset the car, tried to spin out.
He was trying to impersonate his teammate, Ryan Blaney. This is Austin Cindric. They're both hopping around.
Sorry, I was thinking that was Blaney, actually.
No, this is Cindric.
But when he reached over and downshifted is exactly when it lit those rear tires up and tried to spin the thing out. Modulation of those brakes and the timing of that downshift, that's where all these guys are trying to figure out and optimize for the speed. Jamie Little, what do you got?
Well, Tyler Reddick, one of those guys that just wants to get better at this track at Martinsville. And on these new style of practice and qualifying days, Tyler, how do you split that time between focusing on what you need to qualify well here versus what you're going to need in the race?
Yeah, well, for us, thankfully, the easy part is what we're finding is important in qualifying and, well, any point in the run. So we're going to keep trying to get some more stability in our 3G Chevrolet on the braking zones. It's fast if I can keep from making the big mistake or having the big slide, but it feels like you're going to crash and burn when you get really sideways out there. So these cars have been fun and exciting. I knew they were going to be feel a bit faster. You're going to be having to really muscle around this racetrack, but it's really caught us off guard. They're a lot of fun, though.
He was top 5 in Group A, so if you did the math and transferred him to qualifying like they practiced, he would be able to get to that final round and run for the pole. But obviously, many questions to be answered between now and then. As we look at Brad Keselowski, this has been a tremendous racetrack for him. I go back a few years ago when he led nearly 450 of 500 laps.
Yeah, just
There you go.
good race car driver. You know, when you think about Martinsville, and again, it takes me back to the discipline side of this racetrack. It's such a hard thing. Again, crew chief stop. You can look over, man, I'm slow. I need a tenth. I need a tenth and a half here. Where am I going to find it? I'm going to try to drive off in the corner faster. That hurts you. Need to pick up the gas quicker. That hurts your lap time. Discipline is the name of the game, and I'm telling you, there's nobody with more discipline than Brad Keselowski.
But if in this format, if you don't unload close and you don't hit the sweet spot, then all of a sudden you're just spinning your wheels because you got no real time to go out and make the corrections you need.
You're panicked. The wheels ain't the only thing spinning. Your mind is through the roof because you know I'm in trouble.
Truex has been quiet. Won 3 of the last 5 at this track.
Look how much harder he's getting into the corner.
Comparing him to Blaney when it comes to the throttle trace. And the colors on the lines match their cars. Blaney in yellow, Truex in orange.
I like it. I like that you can see Blaney is able to get off the brakes and let the car roll quicker than Truex is. Truex is still dragging his brake a little bit. And what I mean by that, that's right here. You can see, sorry, I was a little slow on it, but you can see where he was dragging a little more brake longer through the corner. See where he kind of had to double up on the brakes right there. On that time, tells me the car was probably a little bit loose. Pretty much matched there. Little double braking action. I think that's the shift. I really do think that modulation you see with the brake is where they're downshifting. I don't think there's a shift where 19 didn't shift. Let's see if we can follow along one more time. But you can see that right there is time. I don't like that brake. If I'm Martin Truex, I want to change that. I guarantee you his crew chief is looking at that.
How much of this is car and it just not handling the way you need it to versus driver style and just hard to overcome that adjustment?
But more than likely what he's doing, he's fighting a little bit of a tight condition. Got to keep that brake pedal down a little bit longer around the corner to keep the nose settled, keep that thing pinned. You're going to have to get that out. That will not be good on a long run. You need to free your car up, make sure that thing's rolling through the center where you don't have that foot on the brake. But I'm telling you, you're right. It's so hard. You have to tell yourself, going back to that discipline thing that I keep preaching about, I can't tell you how many times getting around this place, I literally told myself, do not drag that brake. Get your foot off the brake.
Saw Brad Keselowski. Here's the team car. Chris Buescher right now 18th overall in the practice.
Your foot's always on the brake, and I'm telling you, Adam, like you don't even realize you're doing it. Yeah, I don't think I'm dragging the brake. Next thing you know, your engineer, crew chief, somebody's telling you, hey, watching SMT data, you're dragging the brake.
How much of this style of racing is just muscle memory, you know?
It is, but I'm telling you, you see how busy those guys, see how quick his wheel lockup was right there? Getting into the corner, that left front locked up just for a second. And nobody understands the mechanics of a car better than Kyle Busch, how fast he was able to, to make that adjustment inside the car.
Kyle Busch has been good, not just overall on speed, but when you look at the averages over a long run. And there are some guys putting down some laps today, Larry.
Yeah, I just was looking at them, and we're right at 19 minutes into this practice session with about a minute to go. And Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, they're at 52, 53 laps right now. They went out on the racetrack when this practice started, and they have run the entire time, essentially just going to run it out, which with one set of tires, minor adjustments, here comes Ryan Blaney in. But the 9, I think Chase Elliott's going to run until basically they throw the red and the black.
Well, I'll say this about Chase Elliott and his Hendrick teammates. Really good today. 4 in the top 7. And when you look at the averages, 10, 15, 20, 30 lap average, Hendrick guys leading in every category, and practice time just about ready to run out.
Yeah. So much emphasis on this racetrack for Rick Hendrick and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports for a lot of reasons. And every single time you look over your shoulder on the board and you're at Martinsville, the cars that beat come out of that Hendrick camp.
Chase Elliott has had some defining moments right here. You think about the tay-to-tay with Denny Hamlin, the huge win in 20 that helped produce a championship. He still got it. He leads the way in practice. Practice is all done. Both Group A and Group B have been out there for 20 minutes. And you look at the long run here, 15 lap average. We've combined both sessions, and here are the leaders, Clint.
Yeah, we said it, you know, the Hendrick camp. But Kyle Busch, man, I like the Gibbs conversation. And Bubba Wallace rounding that up. You heard the confidence in his voice, and I love those interviews. You can almost tell. He's always got him some swagger going with his you know, his little sachet. But I'm telling you, that cat right there, handful of confidence for a reason. That's a pretty good list to be on. Some heavy hitters.
Is it sachet or sachet?
I don't know what I say.
Well, I don't know.
It's what I said it was, Adam.
Practice is over. Let's qualify. To help us get ready, in our Race Hub simulator, Ryan Blaney took a ride earlier this week.
We're in Martinsville, where we'll be qualifying Friday night. So I'm going to take you kind of through a little one-lap qualifier and seeing what we can do. So I've always found success at Martinsville kind of running right around the curb, especially in the race. Qualifying, you kind of drift up maybe a little bit, but you definitely don't want to hit the curb like that. But just trying to roll the curb with as much speed as you can. Entry's always kind of tricky here, and you're always worried about locking left front tires up. But one of the things is just trying to roll fast and getting pointed and getting back to the gas straight, because this place is so tight that just straight line acceleration is one of the biggest things that we kind of look for. So you start creeping to the gas early, but kind of once you get pointed, you can mat it, especially in qualifying. And that was a good exit. That's a lap around Martinsville for qualifying.
So many things to digest there. The thing that I like the most, ooh, that was a good exit. And I'm telling you, when it hits, man, it feels so good. You climb in the gas right back to the mat like he was saying, and those tires hook up. There's no better feeling, especially in qualifying, because that one lap, you've got to go. Now, the difference is he didn't shift in that car. You know, at the studio, he's been shifting all day long already in practice. That's something that's going to be a big part of the equation and the conversation for the fastest man alive here in this qualifying session.
What's up, Jamie?
Well, last time we were here, there was this man that went to victory lane, Alex Bowman, and there was a clock for everybody by the end of the weekend. But the long faces today, what are you still questioning after that 20-minute practice?
Obviously, we had speed, but just really not. I don't have the feel that I'm looking for. So somewhat the opposite of last week, where we practiced and qualified really bad, but I knew my car was really good. I feel like we look okay, but I don't feel very good. So just trying to figure out, obviously the 9 I think is really fast, figure out what I can lean on him for and try to learn from. And our Ally Camaro is fast. I just got to figure out how to drive it how it needs to be driven, and I feel like I'm not doing a great job of doing that right now. So hopefully we'll get it figured out. Hopefully we'll qualify decent and do some homework, be better for tomorrow.
Thanks, Alex.
Jamie mentioned it last time we came here, last fall. He had been eliminated from the playoffs, but he said, I don't care. I want a clock, and I'm going to go get it, and he did.
And he did. And he went and got it, all right.
That's where he earned the title of hack, right?
Well, since then, since the hack title, he's had a handful of other ones, but man, earned it. See him spinning the tires up off. Denny Hamlin was not happy with him.
Bowman, most underrated driver in the sport right now.
He's just so quiet. He races exactly like you just heard him in that interview. He's just so unassuming. You wouldn't think that he would be aggressive behind the wheel, but you saw it right there in that clip. He will do whatever it takes to get the job done, and I love that about him. His demeanor is so calm and kind of bashful. You get him behind there, kind of like Kyle Larson. Man, I'm telling you, collectively, with all of Rick's drivers, I think that it's a grand total of like a heart rate RPM of about 1,200 RPM.
And the heart rate's about to go up because qualifying, it's next from Martinsville. Way. You know it, you love it. Bristol Dirt, Easter night.
Cannot wait.
I mean, can you imagine going on the high banks for a second straight year on Fox? This is going to be awesome.
Yes, I can imagine it. I wish I was out there. The dirt track at Bristol. It is going to be so much fun. Easter Sunday night. Get the business done with the family. Tune in. It's going to be a good time.
Jamie Little.
Well, Adam, I have to say the sun has gone away and the wind has picked up and all the drivers are in their car for one reason, because it's a lot warmer in here. But Chase, do you feel like you have a pretty good idea of what you need to lay down here for a fast lap for 1 or 2 laps?
Yeah, I think you're going to need to be in the 19-second bracket for sure. It'll be interesting. They don't drive very good on new tires, at least in practice with the low pressure. So it's for sure going to be a handful. I think at the Clash it was kind of the same. So it'll be interesting. You know, you got to really hit your marks here. It's so easy to get invited to drive into the corner, and they don't brake quite as good as I thought they were going to. So it'll for sure be interesting. I don't know what our Mahindra Tractors Ford is going to quite be like, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good luck.
2 laps in qualifying since we're at a short track. Lap 1 for Cody Ware as he's the first on track in Group A. Just over 21 seconds. He was 17th of 19 cars in that Group A practice session earlier.
See some wheel lockup getting in the corner. He had been fighting that several times getting into turn 3. I saw him wash way up by the wall. But I don't think he's going to be the last car we see getting a little bit too much getting into the corner and locking that left front on. I think that's going to be easy to do.
Opening lap for B.J. McLeod.
Another left front wheel lock up. You hear him. Actually, he's shifted. So didn't hear Cody Ware using the gearbox in his lap.
2085 opening lap for McLeod. We'll see if he can pick up. Do you anticipate most guys will be better lap 2 than lap 1? What do we think?
Without a doubt, but it takes me back to last weekend. I was thinking the same thing. You know, no question it'll be the second lap. You got to be ready, though. If that thing comes in the first lap, just like we saw last time in the pole setting lap, that 12 car of Ryan Blaney, he was able to get the job done in his first lap, was the only car that didn't have to go back out and run a second lap, and he, I think, was the benefactor of that very thing sitting on the pole.
McLeod picked up 3/10 from his opening lap to lap number 2 as we check out the 7 car, and this, of course, Corey LaJoie, top 5 finish, first of his career at Atlanta last month. Opening lap puts him P1 2020. And he's going to pick up the pace. Not quite the pickup on lap 2 that B.J. McLeod had, but he does make a jump. Nearly got down in the 19-second bracket.
We're going to see what the track has in store for us. Again, you know, you heard Jamie say that sun's down. I think it's going to have more grip. These guys are going to be able to really get after it, be aggressive with their inputs in the wheel, downshifts, throttle on.
Second on lap 1 for Kurt Busch, basically backed up what he ran in practice. But he's got it going in lap 2. Look at the tracker.
You heard how hard he got onto the throttle. Downshift a little bit early, gets the car rotated a little bit free up off the corner. I think that hurt him some. The 90. I think that's a pretty good lap. I have to watch some more cars.
Well, this would be a good gauge, right? Because
100%.
Bubba, you know, a little quicker than Kurt in practice, and was really, really good when you look at the overall speed chart. He was 3rd overall.
I think I've seen enough. Pretty good wheel lockup. I think I've seen enough, Adam. I want to just get my tires, buffed in, get them up to speed, get some temperature in that first lap, and then really get after the second lap. Comparing him to his teammate. Didn't get off the corner near as good.
Bubba Wallace third on lap 1, a 20:15.
Got off of the corner a lot better on 4. But again, it just takes me back to that wheel lockup. Just the least little thing here gets you out of sync, out of rhythm. It's such a rhythmic racetrack like Martinsville, and you can be in trouble. I think not only did that hurt his first lap, it hurt his second lap too.
Here's Ty Dillon. And you see A.J. Allmendinger listed. They had problems in the inspection line. He will not get to make a qualifying run. Dillon 5th on his opening lap.
Oh, got on the curb, man.
And we're comparing Ty right now on the Ghost car to Cody Ware as we look to start bumping people out of a position to advance.
If you look at his line, that's what I was kind of focusing on. He was letting the car drift up, diamond if you will, like we were talking about earlier, and when he came across, he clipped the curb. I like his line, but clipping that curb, it's going to hurt you every time.
Harrison Burton in practice, a 20:27. And you see him tracking. That's not to Kurt Busch at the top. It's to Ty Dillon in 5th. So he's in a very good position here. Opening lap puts him 4th.
Man, that big wheel lockup. And again, it kind of takes me back. It not only hurt his first lap, it hurt his second lap. Make sure you do not do that again. A little bit of an adjustment. I feel like it was going to lock up. He got off the brakes, let the car roll up. I don't think he's going to be happy with that lap. See that car rock over? As soon as he started putting input in the wheel, it gets over there on that right front, makes the left front light, locks up every time.
Jumped into the top 5, but a 2013 likely not going to be good enough to advance for Harrison Burton as we look at Eric Jones.
Good first lap. Didn't get off of 4 quite as good. Man, big lockup. I was afraid with these guys, they all get settled in and race trim runs. Now you can go out there, you really have the confidence in your tires with the pressures built up to try to charge into that corner harder. Again, takes me back to that discipline that I was talking about earlier in practice.
Eric Jones is 3rd behind Wallace and Kurt Busch. It's Group A qualifying, round number 1 at Martinsville. Halfway home, Group A qualifying here at Martinsville. Bubba Wallace 2nd behind his teammate Kurt Busch. Top 5 advanced to run for the pole. Currently on the bubble, Harrison Burton. As we look at his Ford teammate, here's the 10 of Eric Almirola.
Always fast here. Good racetrack for Eric. Was really good at, managing his car, managing his runs. Good on a long run for sure.
He was 8th in Group A practice earlier and tracking to make a jump on his opening lap. And he does. Up inside the top 5, he's 4th.
Like when I brag on somebody, Adam, and they back it up, man.
Makes you feel like a genius, doesn't it?
Yes. Called my shot. Look at this.
Top of the board, 1984 for the other AA.
Good lap. Again, all you got to do is make that top 5. But I think, watching Daniel in the track house, the speed that they've had, it's going to be really interesting keeping an eye on that bubble, on that 5th place.
Corey LaJoie is there now. Suarez 7th on his opening lap.
Really hear the downshift getting into turn 1. Pretty aggressive on his downshift.
But look how he's tracking.
Again, that's to the 5th place car.
But if you look at the
whoa, man,
he
gave it
had
all away right there. Washed up in the center of the corner. Big time.
Stays in the 7th spot, Jamie.
And Kurt Busch, more experienced here than any other driver with 43 starts, but things are a little bit different this time around after that qualifying effort. What is your, I guess, just your thoughts?
Can I trade in all those 43 times and just start over? Right now, I feel like I'm an octopus in the car, shifting gears, steering with one arm, trying to get the brake bias, trying to tell them race trim, trying to tell them Q trim, and they're like, you got to go right away. I mean, it's beyond on how many changes are really happening, but as long as you can digest it at a rate to be productive in your practice sessions in Q, this is our best effort so far. It's just a lot going on, and how in the world are we shifting here at Martinsville? This is either awesome or it's insane. I don't know yet.
Words perfectly spoken by Kurt Busch.
Evaluate what you're seeing out of Reddick here.
Yeah, just trying to get that temperature build up. Kind of, you know, definitely giving up that first lap, kind of throw it away, if you will, to be on point for the second. May have helped him. The other part of that is when you can see just elected to kind of, again, throw away this first lap. Let's just get some heat, scrub those front tires in, and kind of the old school way of doing it. But for me, I was terrible at that because this is such a rhythmic racetrack. I want to get out there, get my rhythm, get in sync, get my downshifts down. Another part of the equation for this new race car. I need to get, you know, all of that down so I can be good on my second lap. And doing that, throwing away that first lap, made me struggle with that.
Eric Jones on the bubble. Reddick went to 4th. Here comes Christopher Bell. White flag lap, has the 20 in 6th. A couple of Toyotas at the top. Bell driving a Toyota and tracking here against Eric Jones, who's currently 5th.
It's going to be a good lap.
Really solid.
In the 80s again. I think you're going to have to be in the 80s to make it. I really do.
Reddick goes to the bubble. And here comes Chase Briscoe. I think about Reddick, race dirt, Bell, dirt racer, Briscoe, dirt racer, and they all kind of have that same approach. Warm up the tires and then go get it. Is that relatable at all to their past?
Oh, yeah. But there, you can see this is going to destroy his second lap, too.
Yep.
Man, I don't know if I may have stopped and backed up and came around.
Just to gain some momentum coming around to take the white?
This is a car, and you can see how close he is, but I'm telling you, he's not going to make that final. Maybe. It's a good rebound, but see how much faster and how much he made up in 3 and 4 versus 1 and 2. Again, it takes me back to the discipline, what I keep preaching on this racetrack. Let the car do the work. Those pressures are built up. This car will have more speed in it. In qualifying trim, it is set for that one lap. Let the car do the work. Do not try to overdrive the corner.
Pretty good opening lap for Kyle Larson. Shut it down, right?
I think I would.
Well, you only got 3 guys
and
left.
Look,
I mean,
if we learned anything last week, this was the winning ticket with that 12 car and Ryan Blaney.
Good job.
Shut him down. Great lap.
I'm not good at math, but if you're fastest and there's only 3 to go and 5 advanced, that means he's going to hit
probably good,
you know? And the 3 that remain, guys that are pretty good here at Martinsville: Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, the new driver on the bubble, the 14 of Chase Briscoe. I'm anxious to see him because he wasn't real fast in practice.
No, he wasn't. Speed-wise, long runs, I felt like, you know, he's where he needed to be, but needed the speed. I'm going to find out right here. Do not overdrive that corner. You can throw your lap away. One slip of the wheel.
This is really, really close as we compare him to Chase Briscoe, who currently
he washed way up the track. He's no way. Wow.
Denny Hamlin will not advance. Jamie.
Eric Almirola is second on the board right now. How would you describe those 2 laps?
Busy. Qualifying's always so much fun here at Martinsville, and especially when you have a car that's driving good. So our Smithfield Spiral Ham Ford Mustang's pretty fast. I thought it was good in practice, and then, qualifying trim there. You try and get as much as you can possibly get, but if you get a little bit too much and you get out of shape, it's so costly here. So you got to be so precise. And I did a good job. I didn't do a great job, so I feel like there's a little more room.
Well done.
Top 3 are locked in to the second round. Larson, Almirola, Bell, as we watch Kevin Harvick.
He's going to do it. Got through 3 and 4 really good.
That is fast. 1977.
He buried that thing off into turn 3 and didn't get the wheel lock up. You could see it out the window. I glanced away, looked out. Man, great 3 and 4 for Kevin Harvick.
His old teammate is now on the bubble, Kurt Busch. And here comes William Byron, a winner here last night in the Camping World Truck Series race. Last car of the round. Top 5 going to run for the pole in a bit. 10th on lap 1. Going to be close. Pretty good through 3 and 4 for William Byron. And he will move on to the second round of qualifying. Kurt Busch just misses out. So the 5 that advance: Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Eric Almirola, and Christopher Bell. Your thoughts, Larry?
Yeah, I just was looking at these lap times, and then I go back to Larson. They did not even obviously throw anything away. When he left pit road, he was digging, heating those tires. Obviously, he only had to run that 1 lap. I don't think that'll be as critical as it was at Richmond last week, but that's 1 less lap that he's got than anybody else.
You'll take any advantage you can get. And all of them have got a chance to lead him to the green tomorrow night. Bell, Almirola, Byron, Larson, and Kevin Harvick. Group A, round 1 qualifying is complete. Here are the 5 still alive for the pole. Among them, William Byron. Jamie?
And William just got out of his race car as we're looking at the stats from qualifying. You won the race last night, but what do you feel like you could do different or better for round number 2?
Yeah, that first round was a little choppy by me. I felt like I just, it's so easy to lock up the tires with these cars. So got in there, kind of spiked the brake a little bit and panicked. But overall, second lap was a lot better for sure and got us in there in third. So I feel like the car's really good. Just got to put down a solid lap. Thank you.
Is that 24 car ever won at Martinsville, Clint?
Which time? Which decade, man? So many wins.
So Group A and the 5 drivers that advanced across the top of your screen to add some perspective as we watch Group B go out and make their qualifying runs. First effort goes to Josh Bilicki, his opening lap 20:92, and he'll pick it up on the second lap 20:26 for the driver out of Wisconsin.
Really liked what he said there and how tricky it is to overdrive that corner, use too much brake. The modulation is always such a big part of having success here, but these guys having trouble by themselves tells me only one thing. You wait till you get a guy on your outside trying to make a move, trying to outbrake him, getting in the corner, gaining position on him as you're navigating traffic, a lap or even. A 1 wheel lock up, you're out into that car on your outside of you, now you're in a wreck.
J.J. Yaley is completed his first lap. He'll be running the Xfinity race that you can watch later tonight on FS1. Coverage begins next with race day. Shannon, Jamie, Larry, ready to get you on point for what you'll need to know later on tonight. $20.49 for Yaley. Michael McDowell, 37, from Phoenix, Arizona. opening lap is second, but not too far off of what Balicki ran. We'll see if he can pick it up here on his second lap and jump to the top. McDowell in the green. P1 for the 34, 1986. And overall, that's pretty good.
Yes, it is. Great lap from Michael McDowell. He always ran well here when I race against him. I noticed something on the walls. There's obviously always markers with cones. You know, your lifting points, your braking points, everything is out the window with this new car. All those data points, you know, that you use year and year again. I mean, it was always, for me, there was a Sprint Cup sign. I will never forget that. I could close my eyes and make laps around here. That old Sprint sign that was on the front stretch and the back stretch, that was your lifting zone. To the end of that sign, if you didn't lift, you'd lock that wheel up, overdrive the corner every time. All of those points that has been in the back of these guys' mind, they have had to relearn with this new car and the brake package underneath of it.
Fitting sponsor for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Louisiana Hot Sauce. And he's second behind McDowell. Got hot right here.
A little too hot on the brake pedal. You hear them all talking about it. Very difficult to not overdrive the car, but you can't underdrive it too. I mean, this is qualifying. The money's on the line. There's no redos. There's no resets. You've got to go off in there and try to make it the fastest lap possible. If you underdrive it, it's not going to be there. If you overdrive it and lock that wheel up, it's for sure mid-pack jack.
Michael McDowell quickest, teammate Todd Gilliland on track third in the opening lap, but in the green. First NASCAR win came right here at Martinsville a couple of years ago in the Camping World Truck Series, and he's feeling good about that. Give me a 1973.
Great laps.
Watching Justin Haley in the 31. Third his first time around. We're seeing some really good laps here by the Group B guys. That lap for Gilliland, fastest lap of the day.
Yeah, that was an awesome lap. But I mean, when McDowell went out and run that 86, I kind of thought that maybe, you know, Gilliland would be able to do that. Haley at an 86. I think the track's cooling down. The other thing is, just like the groups, we talked about it in practice. When you have a teammate that goes out in that first group and maybe they're a little bit different on air, you have the opportunity, the affordability to go ahead and make an adjustment off of what your teammate said. Don't think for a second there isn't a lot of communication going on amongst these race teams and organizations and even manufacturers through these groups and being different.
Top three times in Group B would have advanced out of Group A. And Cole Custer, he's got a fast one.
Really rolled the bottom well. A little slow to the gas, but I think he's going to get it.
New leader,
wow.
Cole Custer,
Cole Custer.
72. Are we going to get down in the 60s here?
Man, my mind's going crazy. Now what are you doing? If you're Kevin Harvick, thought you had a really good lap, you're thinking, man, we're going to be on the pole of this baby. Larson, you know, with his one lap. Now you're looking over and seeing these guys pick up.
Brad Keselowski in our tracker bottom left of your screen, comparing him to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is currently in the bubble position to advance to the second round of qualifying.
Did he brush the wall right there?
Boy.
Really close. Bumps in at his first lap. I think the track's cooling off and gaining grip, gaining speed. I really do.
I mean, this is going to be a big lap for Brad Keselowski. Third is where it puts him. Jumps in front of McDowell and Haley. Did he or did he not hit the wall?
Well, I saw tire marks when he went by, but were they there before? Yeah, Whew, I don't think he did, but I'm telling you, as he turned off into the corner, he kind of arced that last little bit. Man, that's as close as it gets. I can tell you, I don't want to be the wall right there.
Cindric for Team Penske. His teammates also in Group B. They come later.
Saw he waited, was a little bit loose. Car was rolling out from underneath of him, getting in the corner, was slow to his downshift.
Lap 1, 1987. Comparing him to Haley, who's currently in 5th. Cindric to 4th in 1979.
I think the track's picking up, Adam. I really do.
Halfway through in Group B, some big names coming. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Truex when we return. This weekend, Martinsville Speedway celebrating 75 years. So many great memories at this historic track in Southern Virginia. And we're rolling in Group B qualifying. Chris Buescher on the track and his teammate with Jamie.
And Brad Keselowski had a good run there, 2-time winner. You're always good when it comes to Martinsville, but tell me about the track and how it's changing a little bit from practice to qualifying.
Yeah, no doubt, Jamie. You know, I think when you come to Martinsville, that's kind of the story of the track is the sun comes out, the rubber goes down, sun goes away, the rubber comes up, and the car changes handling, the track changes speed, and we're seeing that a little bit here today. Every car getting a little bit faster as the track cleans up a little bit. So hopefully my teammate Chris Buescher here will have a full running lap here, and we can keep up our great day we're having so far in Martinsville.
I like how he was holding that focus as he's watching his car on the screen, guys.
I was wondering if he was going to root for his teammate or not, but look at Buescher putting on a show. Coming back off of turn 4, and the 17 is 4th, right behind his teammate. 0.04 of a second separate the duo from RFK Racing.
Hey, you heard me say in the first round, thought it was going to take an 80. I don't know that back half of a 70 is going to be good enough.
Well, when you think about who we've got to go, Logano, Elliott, Kyle Busch, I mean, it's incredible. And what's even more amazing is when you compare to what the Fast Five were from Group A earlier today. Best one there, 77.
I believe the track is picking up for sure. The sun's pretty much in full clouds, and it has been.
Austin Dillon going to be in the booth with us tonight. He and Eric Jones going to be alongside to call the Xfinity race. But he's got bigger things on his mind right now, and he will not advance to the second round of qualifying. The 3-car is 8th in Group B. There's the boss man. If anybody's going to drive it, he will. Ross Chastain always gets after it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I got after it a little bit too hard. But again, if I'm going to make that mistake, I want to make it early. Just like we can throw this lap away. Don't go down here in turn 3 like Chase Briscoe did, slide up, because it ruins not only your first lap, but your second lap. Right now, I feel like Ross can rebound from that. Still, that was the thing. Now he's timid, right? He locked the corner up getting into 1 before. That was that underdriving. Now you get off in there a little bit timid, underdrive the car, and you can see now we're playing, catch up from now on. This isn't going to be the lap that Ross Chastain and any of us have grown to be accustomed with this #1 car.
Here's the other thing to think about. If you don't have a good qualifying run, not a great pit selection, I mean, no track position, not a good pit stall tomorrow, that can make your life very, very difficult. Joey Logano, who's simply been a qualifying machine at Martinsville, is out in the 22, and the Fords have been good so far in Group B. Opening lap is 8th.
Car looks, well, slipped up a little bit up off. You saw him pedal it, and look how much it hurt him. Car looks stable, but
trying to knock out his teammate.
He got to the throttle early. Was he going to make enough?
And he missed it by 0.02 of a second. Cindric stays 5th. Logano is 6th. Chase Elliott on track.
This is the one I wanted to see. I wanted to see if Chase in this 9 car, so much speed and success here at Martinsville. It was fast in practice. Really washed up the track, much like Denny Hamlin. Kind of awkward. Didn't see a wheel lock up, but the thing just really washed up.
We know 2 Hendrick cars are going to run for the pole. Kyle Larson
Up again
advanced in the Group A session, so did William Byron.
I think he's fighting a tight condition. Got the thing rolled down, but see, it was slow to get it rotated, but I think he made the difference. But that was a huge rebound and a good, change of his line and I guess of his approach, his mentality. He drove 3 and 4 quite a bit different than he did 1 and 2 because of what he felt.
Chase, the only Chevy now in the top 5 as we look at the Toyota of Kyle Busch.
That was so close to lock up.
'11th on lap 1 for driver 18. Buescher on the bubble.
Right down on the yellow line, got it turned.
Really good comeback through 3 and 4, but it's not going to be enough. By 1,000th of a second, 1,000th of a
like
second.
Watching pro stock racing.
Buescher in, Busch is out. Here's Alex Bowman trying to join his Hendrick teammate Chase Elliott in the top 5 in Group B.
It's a little lockup, but I don't think it's going to destroy the second lap. He got rotated and adjusted back out. Hardest part when I felt, when you have that brake lockup like that is washing it out of your mind. You still got to go out there and go down in the next corner, drive it off in there, and don't be, timid about it. And I think that's exactly what he felt. That's a huge surprise with a 48 car. I had him dubbed for sure making this top 5. Just washing that out of your mind. It's hard to describe how hard that is because we're talking fractions, thousandths of a second in qualifying and the times determining whether you're in or out.
Here's Ryan Blaney. Won the pole the last 3 times we've had qualifying in the Cup Series. Rained out at Atlanta. And a real good qualifier here at Martinsville.
I think that's the tires you hear in the middle of the corner.
12th on lap 1. Here he is
with a perfect throttle in the center of the corner, and I think that's what hurt him. You hurt him having to get out of the gas. He picked it up and got back out. That's the difference between making it at a 78 and not at a 77.
There's not going to be a Penske car running for the pole. That's unbelievable.
Shocked me.
Here's our last one in qualifying. Martin Truex Jr. And as you watch Martin, just glance at the pylon and look at the drivers in the top 5. We're going to have some surprises running for the pole.
Great day for RFK. It's a good point, Adam. Can Truex knock Buescher off?
16th on lap 1 for Truex. Got a long way to go.
Got a good launch off of 4.
He's not going to make it.
Not going to make it.
Incredible. You could have lost some big money betting who's advancing out of Group B to the final round of qualifying. Cole Custer is the fastest at a 1972. Chris Buescher hangs on by 1,000th of a second. Chase Elliott is there. Brad Keselowski going for the pole. Todd Gilliland pulls an upset. So does Cole Custer. There's no doubt the track is picking up speed. Everyone in Group B that moved on faster than Kevin Harvick, who was the best of the bunch in Group A. These are the 10 drivers going for the pole. Among them, Chris Buescher. Jamie?
Yes, and for the first time this year, Chris Buescher going on to the second round. All right, Chris, what can you do to be better than the other 9 drivers for the pole here?
Yeah, that was a good job by our Fast and All team. Big pickup from practice, and feel pretty good about it. Just watching data here, trying to figure out how much speed we can roll in without locking it up. I think that's the big one, but it's quite a tight group up there, so we're looking for any little bit we can. Thanks.
This is a great story when you consider all the changes that have gone on at RFK to put both their drivers in the final round of qualifying, and here's how they will line up for this last session going for the pole. Christopher Bell will be the first guy out, the only driver from Joe Gibbs Racing to make it into the final round.
Yeah, and I love what you heard Chris Buescher, what's on his mind. It's all about, I think the name of the game is getting that thing rifled off in the corner without locking that wheel up. Everybody's talking about it, looking at the data, watching other guys, how deep they were in, how much brake pressure. That's all the things that SMT data shows is, your brake pressure, how hard and early he picked up the gas. When did he downshift? When did he upshift? All of those things now you can put to good use. And by the way, put it all out there on the table. The worst you're going to do is the top 10. I'll take that any day. And I'm telling you, I love this scenario with being in its final 10. You really see what these guys and their equipment has.
They've given Christopher Bell the nod. Here comes the 20. Good couple of weeks for this race team. Last weekend on the short track in Richmond, he led 63 laps. That's a career high. Got a top 10 finish for a second consecutive week, and doing the same thing here that he did in round one.
Again, all about consistency, getting in a rhythm. If that's what worked for you in round one, do it again. Let that car do the work. Don't beat yourself here.
Bell's lap in the opening round, a 1987. 2016 here, but you knew it would be slow just because he throws it away just a little bit, right?
I think, just like last weekend, the cars just didn't back up what they did. They were slower in this round. You could see it sliding the rear end around, loose up off the corner. That's going to bite him. A 96.
That's a 10th slower than what he ran.
And that's what we saw last week. Exact same thing, about a tenth and a half slower than what they were in the first round. Again, that's an adjustment you have to feel as a driver. You got to know that grip level's down. Don't overdrive it thinking it's still there.
3 Stewart-Haas cars advance to the second round of qualifying. The first of those on track, Eric Almirola. Opening lap, quicker than that of Bell.
Ran an 84 in his first lap, or his first qualifying attempt. I think he's going to be all over that.
That's pretty solid right there. 1979. All right, here's a guy to watch. Well, we'll get to Kyle Larson in a moment. First, William Byron. The point I want to make about Larson, he only ran 1 lap. We'll talk about that when Byron is done. He's out in the 24. Trying to beat a 79. First lap of 2012.
Didn't exactly have it pointed right when he got back to the gas, and I think that's why he used all the real estate up off, couldn't get off the corner, and you see Eric pass him. He really rolled in and charged past the 10 car in the Ghost, but then couldn't get it, couldn't keep the throttle down up off and paid the price.
Byron picks up, but stays behind Almirola. Now Larson. 1 lap in the opening round. Do those tires make a difference here?
This was the recipe that won the pole last week at Richmond with the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Let's see if he can get it done. The only car that ran 1 lap to make this final 10.
Yeah, he went out late, went straight to the top. They said shut it down. They knew he was going to advance. Just over 20 seconds on his first lap. But he's in the green.
I think it's backing up our point. Oh, he washed up.
Man, he had it going to turn 3, and he actually slows down on that second lap, stays 4th.
See it, lock that wheel up, shot up the racetrack, and the rest is history. Man.
From one champion to another, Group A leader Kevin Harvick on track to make his run at the pole.
He was quick to downshift. Some of the guys, that's really interesting to me. That's a driver preference thing. Some guys will get the car, make sure it's under control with the braking, and then downshift in the corner. Kevin's shifting really early. Boy, he's got his hands full. This car's loose.
Halfway home in final round qualifying, Harvick is 3rd. His teammate leading, Eric Almirola, is quick. You talk about working overtime on a Friday afternoon.
Loose, boys. This baby's loose.
Halfway home in the final round of qualifying, who's going to get the pole for tomorrow night's 400 lapper from Martinsville that you can watch live on FS1. The man there right now, Eric Almirola, and Chris Buescher is the first of the final 5 to go out and try to put their name at the top of the list.
You know, you said the 10 car of Almirola. He was the only one that picked up from his, first qualifying session. Let's see if Chris Buescher can do it. He ran a 77 in his first attempt.
Now, all these guys that are going out now, qualified in Group B, they were all faster than the guys in Group A earlier, but we believe that's just because the track was picking up speed, maybe not an indicator of competition.
I like how that car rotated. Got rotated and he got to the gas good. Straight drives up off. Flashed a little bit of hint of green. Same thing here. Don't overdrive it, Chris. Do not lock that wheel up. Didn't. Right down to the bottom. Can he get to the gas? So close.
Second, 1985.
Hey, that's a good lap, though. Not where he wanted, but I'm telling you, 24 car, the 4, Bell, Larson, ahead of a lot of fast cars.
Chase Elliott, 3rd Hendrick car to qualify in the final round. I mean, how about just do it on the opening lap and be done with it? He was in the green down the back straightaway.
It's going to be interesting if those tires don't build up here. Can he continue that trend? And it looks like he can. Wondering if it'll pick up, get too tight, but I'm telling you, great lap so far. Got down to the bottom, liking what I'm seeing here, fast.
Look at this. Engine number 9, P1 1969.
First one we've seen in a 60 bracket.
And now Brad Keselowski. His teammate is 3rd, Chris Buescher.
What a lap. That was fast.
Brad is 8th of 8 on lap 1.
I think he threw that lap away on purpose.
Gotta believe.
Oh, he
right?
hit the chip right there. See the gap? Didn't hit his gear shift up into 5th in time, and it really cost him some speed on that back straightaway.
He stays 8th.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It probably a half a car length at least in the back straightaway. I heard it, looked down, sure enough.
2 to go. Can anyone get Chase Elliott? And if they do, it is going to be one heck of a lap. The first guy to try and get it done, Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, they're going to earn it. The bar has been raised. I'm loving what I've seen out of the 38, Todd Gilliland making his final 10. It's a huge shot in the arm for himself as a driver and them as a team. Look at this. Big run up off the corner.
He's never
started.
He
went for it. He got up in there and locked the wheel up. But, man, I love the effort. I love the fact that he went for it because he was right there on the money. He knew when he got through 1 and 2, he was on the money and went for it down in 3 and 4. Unfortunately, locked that left front wheel up. Again, takes me back. I like that. We were close to a pole in the Cup Series. My driver went for it, and the worst we're going to end up maybe is 10th.
Last one, Cole Custer.
Cole is really fast in his first lap. Ran a 72, was our fastest car.
Solid lap for Custer, but not good enough to get the pole.
Third place. Good lap. Man, what a lap by that guy right there. Chase Elliott at a 69. 1969, baby. Awesome lap.
It's his 10th career pole, Jamie.
And the crowd went nuts when he crossed the finish line there. And I heard your spotter say if they can beat that lap, they can take it, and they couldn't. Was it as good? Did it feel as good as it looked?
To be honest with you, no. When he said that, I was like, man, I felt like somebody could get there to it. It honestly surprised me that it was, that fast. I didn't really expect to be in the 60s. I felt like I had a good lap, but not a great lap. But just appreciate everybody on our Lumar Chevy this week. Got to visit one of their plants today. They are based here in Martinsville, so kind of cool to be a bit of a hometown race for them, and nice to grab a pole. It's been a while, so super proud of Alan and our entire team for continuing to push and come back this weekend strong, and hopefully we can get it right for tomorrow night.
Yeah, certainly no give up in you guys. And you mentioned it, first pole this year, first pole at Martinsville. We know how important track position is here. What does this mean to this team?
It's always good to have a good starting spot. Obviously, lap 400 tomorrow is what pays. So, the bigger thing I think than the starting spot itself is always the pit selection. Having that first pit stall I think is a really big deal and can lend you a lot of opportunity to gain spots on pit road. So hopefully we can get this thing dialed in to be driving like we want, second half of the race and be around to have a shot at it.
All right, Chase Elliott, your pole sitter at Martinsville.
He mentioned it's been a while. How about 75 starts? And
Check
you
that
can't
out.
beat a hometown win, right? I mean, kind of.
Hey, hometown sponsor sitting on the pole of their hometown race. That is awesome. Good job, Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott, NASCAR's most popular driver, got a huge cheer from the crowd. He's on the pole for tomorrow night's race in Martinsville, Virginia. More to come on FS1. Hendrick Motorsports has a car on the pole for the 18th time in their history here at Martinsville. Joining Chase Elliott up front, Eric Almirola. Here's Jamie Little.
And it is his best qualifying effort of the year for Eric Almirola. So what'd you think from round one to round two? Did it feel a little bit better? You hit your marks?
I did, and dang it, I wanted to get a pole here so bad. I've qualified second, I think 3 or 4 times here, so that's frustrating. But last week I felt like going in the second group was a disadvantage because we hurried up to get back in line in the top 10, and so we were going out on hot tires. This week I felt like it was an advantage to go in the second round just because you were going back out with warmer tires. It's so cold here, and the concrete surface is hard to get grip on when it's cold. So I thought with warmer tires maybe that was a little bit of advantage, but nonetheless we've got a great Smithfield Ford Mustang. It's got the spiral ham scheme on it, so hopefully everybody goes to get a ham for Easter, and I feel good about our race cars, so that's all that matters.
All right, so you're going to be on the front row tomorrow. We're going to be under the lights, and it's going to be a cold race with this new car. What are you expecting? What kind of race do you think we'll see?
I was really surprised with the amount of drive on corner exits that we had in practice with this car. In the past, we've came here and you have to roll the center, but man, the forward drive goes away so bad. And with this new car, I don't know what it is or if it's just specifically our car, but I feel like our car drives off the corner really, really good, and it's rolling the middle really good. So I don't know. I ran 50 straight laps in practice just because I didn't know what to tell Drew to fix my car. I felt really good in practice. Felt like the car hung on for the long run. So I don't know. Time will tell. Still got to do all the little things right. It's a long race. 400 laps here is still a long time, but I feel good about it.
Thanks for your time. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. And you got to get a new camera.
That was stroke.
And now the starting grid for tomorrow night's race at Martinsville.
Man, I love what I heard right out there out of the 10 car and Eric Almirola. A lot of confidence in him. I'm thinking I'm going to put my money on him. Kyle Larson coming back there. I think that car is extremely fast. I think that if I had to guess, the Hendrick boys are pretty fast, but I like that 4-car Kevin Harvick. Todd Gilliland making that top 10. Can't say enough about that kid.
He had never qualified
That's pretty
inside the
awesome.
top 20. Today he goes top 10. How about row 6? Kyle and Ryan, I like that.
Brian Blaney's been fast every single week, but just can't seem to get to victory lane. Maybe tomorrow's his night.
Martin Truex Jr. won 3 of the last 5 here, starting on row 10 with Chase Briscoe. All the Penske cars there on our second page.
Bubba Wallace was really fast in practice. I think he's going to be frustrated with his lap in qualifying, but I wouldn't sleep on that 23 car. I liked what I saw in practice. I think his long run speed's going to be there.
I didn't see Denny Hamlin coming from 25th tomorrow night.
Neither did he. Chastain, another guy that's just been solid week in and week out, coming from the back. That's going to be something new for him.
Reminder, A.J. Allmendinger did not make a qualifying run. They had issues in the inspection line. He'll have a pass-through penalty to start this race tomorrow night. He's got 2 runner-up finishes here. It's going to be hard to duplicate that. Chase Elliott on the pole for tomorrow evening's race. All the coverage on FS1. It begins with race day, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then it's the Blue-Emu Maximum Pain Relief 400 from Martinsville, Virginia. Tonight, it's all about the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We're racing with the
Dale Jr.'s in that thing, man.
Dale
I'm telling
Jr.
you,
will
see
be
what that
here.
boy's
That's
got.
right.
He told me he was having trouble out there. Car was tight. Bunch of excuses when I was talking to him earlier. I said, get it on, buddy.
Ty Gibbs starting on the pole. Eric Jones will be in the booth with Austin Dillon. Thanks for watching. Race day starts right now.